for coming down today. I appreciate that. Sorry I'm a little bit behind on things. I'm excited today. Today we're going over something that's long overdue, and that's scripts. It's all well and good to say, hey, just hop on Follow Up Boss, make some calls for sale by hunters, or call some expireds. But in your head, you're like, cool, I can't wait to do that. But what do I say? Right? That's usually everyone's problem, and one of the reasons some people don't lead generate is because they say, well, I don't know what to say. Somebody answers the phone, and I don't know how to have an interaction with them. The truth is, it actually doesn't really matter what you say. It's just the script is there to increase the probability of them saying yes by a fraction of a %. So I tell this story a lot, so I'm going to tell it again because that's what I do. Is when I was working at Royal LePage, when I was first starting out as a realtor, there was a middle-aged woman in the office who, I don't remember her name actually, but she was a monster on the phone. She would call, without exaggeration, she would probably make over 100 contacts every single day. She was monstrous every single day. And this is before Mojo. This is before all this tech made it super easy and made our lives relatively easy. She was hammering each phone number like one at a time. It wouldn't have surprised me if she showed me like a callus on her index finger. She was amazing. And this was her script. I shit you not, this was her script. Ring, ring, you say,
yes, hello.
Hi, am I speaking with Marty?
Yes.
Hey Marty, this is this person with this real estate agency. Just call to see if you want to sell your house.
No, I don't.
Great, see you later. That was the script. No follow-up questions, no digging deeper, nothing. Just, me and my dad called it the shotgun approach. Because it was just like, you want to sell? No? All right, see you later. I do the same thing when I have to pitch in French. But anyway, probably shouldn't have admitted that on screen, but that's okay. I'm not a great pitcher when it comes to French, but that's okay. So yeah, this person always blew my mind a little bit, just because she was living proof that anything works. It's just about the volume in which you do the contact sport. And I love calling it a contact sport. It makes it sound more badass than it is, because let's be honest, pounding the phones every day is not exactly like, you know, it's not good, it's not glamorous, it's not glorious, but the results are. So I like the idea of calling it a contact sport. And it really is. It's just how many contacts can you make? How many people can you speak to about real estate? That's really what this game is all about. Until you've reached a database size that's big enough and you're nurturing it well enough, and we'll get into those types of scripts as well. I created this little script package for everybody to have so that we can go through every single one of them. So I don't even think I'm going to go into actual Follow-Up Boss because I have to do a screen share and I don't feel like doing that. So does everyone know how to access, let's say, the for sale by owners inside of Follow-Up Boss? Does anybody not know how to access the for sale by owners inside of Follow-Up Boss? Fair, of course, your excuse, because that's okay. That's part of your orientation. We'll get to that. But everybody's familiar with that, right? Awesome. So this is the script. And I'll tell you what matters the most about any script, the beginning part. I usually just call it the opener. This is the part you practice. This is the part you practice for minutes, hours, days in front of a mirror. And you want to get it so it comes off really, really fluid, natural, normal, nice, not canned. Is everyone familiar with the term canned? No? So canned means right out of a can. It's all the same kind of thing, right? Robotic. You know what I mean? Canned would be like, here, let's read it, okay? Hi, I'm calling for the house for sale on blank street. Is this still available, or is this the owner? Great, my name is Logan Boyce, and you are, name, blah, 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 just you need to get their name. Or there's, hi, I'm calling about the house that's for sale on blank street. Is this available? Great, my name is Logan, and you are? That would be extremely canned. Because it's just like all put in a can, all nice and neat.
And it looks like you're reading from a script.
Exactly. It can't appear that you're reading from a script. A good script is always really good questions. That's the bread and butter of the script, is down here. Is all the questions that we ask. That's really the main thing. The opener, what's great about that is that you can kind of tailor it to yourself. You want it to have the same guts, the same meat and potatoes inside of it, but you can change it a little bit to how you would present. You know, because the way that I speak is different than how Susan speaks, and how Susan speaks is different than how Marty speaks, right? So once you get good, my suggestion is Make 1,000 phone calls following the script to a T. Then, after you've done 1,000 calls, play with it a little bit. Change a couple of words around. Make it feel a little bit more Susanish or a little more Loganish. Okay? So, for some honor script, let's do the first section. Come on, read me the first section.
Hi, I'm calling about the house that's for sale on blank street. Is it still available?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Well, my name is Connor, and you are?
My name is Logan.
Nice to meet you, Logan. Oh, shit.
Yeah, keep going. Why not?
Hi, Logan. Once again, my name is Connor. I'm actually calling you here from Montreal, the lead real estate group.
Nice.
I'm wondering if you've given any thought about potentially putting your property up on Centris while still keeping it available on Duproquio at the same time.
No, I'm good. So, this is normal, right? And I've told this story a million times, so I'm going to tell it 1,001 times right now. So you're in a store. Everyone's, hands up if you've been to a store. Everyone's been to a store, right? Everyone's shopped before, right? Susan's like, me! So yeah, everyone's been to a store before, back when we used to go to stores. No, we can't kind of still now, but the idea is you're there, you're searching for something or whatever, and naturally, eventually, might not be right away, but usually within 10 minutes, somebody will creep on up to you and they'll be like, hey, can I help you find something? And what's your first answer every time?
No, I'm just looking.
Exactly. No, I'm just basically, hey, fuck off. You know what I mean? Go away now. So I've got this game that I play with myself where I never say no the first time because it trips them up. And I love to watch people sweat. So whenever they say, hey, can I help you find something? I'm like, actually, yes, you can. I'm looking for this, and they're just like,
oh, he's gonna make me work.
they're like, no, what? You're supposed to tell me no. It's so much fun to watch them sweat. But the idea is, if you take the no right away, you're really missing out on a secondary and third opportunity. Because we know that we're programmed to say no. We know that. We know that from the example that I just gave. There's probably a million other examples that I'm not thinking of right now, but our gut reaction most of the time is say, no, I'm good. Thanks, but no, I'm good. Right? But now it's up to us to, in this case, the salesperson at the store, FOs for a little while, and then she sees that we're continuously touching the jeans. And then she's like, you know what? And then she doesn't come in and say, well, these jeans are great, buy these jeans. That's a crappy salesperson. A really good salesperson in a retail environment says, oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but these jeans here taper down at the end. So if you want to have, like, let's say, like lower tops or higher tops or whatever, it really shows off the ankle. I think it'll look great on you. And then she kind of like FOs a little bit, and you're like, damn, okay, all right. This person knows what they're talking about. They've notched up in their expertise a little bit. I can trust them. They're building trust because I'm going to buy from somebody that I know, like, and trust, right? I'm buying from a place that I already trust because I walked into the place. So she doesn't need to work me over in terms of, do I trust the business? Of course I do. I walked in there, right? But do I trust her as her suggestions? Do I trust the product? That's what she's working on, right? He or she, whatever. So the idea for us is we don't take the first no and say, okay, we'll see you later, bye. Because then, you kind of ruin the rest of the script, and then you're probably only going to close at like 0.01% of the calls that you make. You'll still make money if you just ask that one question and wait for somebody to say yes. You will still make money. If you make calls every single day, you'll still probably make like $80K a year if you just hit them with that opener and wait for them to say no and then end the call on no. You'll probably still make a ton of money. But for me, it's more of like, how do I increase the calorie content of this call? How do I make it more worth my while? You know what I'm saying? So my fiance and I were having a dessert last night. Yeah, I got to drop it on the mic. Thanks. Yeah. So we were having dessert last night. We were having conefa from Maruki's. So good, by the way. Shout out to Maruki's, best conefa. And so we were having that, and then they also gave us like a little bit of bread, this like banana cake thing or whatever. And I had a little bite, and I was like, it's not worth it. The calorie content was off for how much I enjoyed it, kind of thing. So the parable there is that
The banana bread or the conefa?
No, the conefa is so good.
Okay.
I'll have 100 of those. I don't care. It was bread. I'm not sure if it was from them. It probably wasn't because it wasn't fantastic. But so I was just like, no, it's good, but it's not good enough for me to like ingest 200 calories. Mm-hmm. So the idea is you're going to spend your time on saying one of these scripts. You might as well spend your time and say it well and go through the entire thing. So once somebody says no, what's the first thing you say?
Great.
Okay, bye.
No? Awesome. You repeat what they said and approve what they said. Arguing with somebody is never going to get you a sale. You don't argue with somebody because then you don't make them wrong. They're going to be like, hey, fuck this little turd on the phone. I'm gonna hang up on him right now. You don't argue with someone because then you're just creating a bad environment. The idea is eventually you want to meet this person in person, right? You want to go face to face with them.
Then argue with them.
Yeah, exactly. Like unless they're a psycho, they're not gonna be like, sweet, I can't wait to have John over to argue with him. It's gonna be sweet. Nobody really thinks that, right? So the idea is you want to repeat what they said, whatever it is. So let's say let's take the first question. Have you met with many other brokers? See, I've met with one or two. So you say, well, one or two. That's great. That's awesome. So you repeat what they said, you approve what they said. You repeat what they said, you approve what they said. That's a reflex that you want to get really, really good at. Now there's reasons that we do that. First of all, we don't want to argue with them, right? That's reason number one. The second reason is you need to buy time. And you'd be surprised that half a second really, really buys you enough time to look at your next thing, realize kind of where you want to go strategy-wise with the call. It's insanely important. If they just say something and you move on to the next question, it's going to seem like canned, robot, reading from a script, right? So you need to engage with them so they know that you're a human being. People want to work with human beings. They don't want to work with robots. We know that. We're in the business where we could have, if real estate was going to be taken over by robots, it would have already. It would have happened in 2007, 2015, or whatever. It would have happened already. We have the technology. We can click to buy if we want to. There's a reason why we don't do that and why we do work with another human being. So we need to engage them like a human being. So have you met with many other brokers? Yeah, I've met with 3 or 4. 3 or 4, fantastic. Tell me, why didn't you sign with them? What were they missing? Okay, that's not even a question there, but obviously, like, you want to build follow-up questions to all of these different types of things, right? All of these questions have an outcome in mind, and we're going to go through them with the for sale by owner. We're going to go through them with the expired. We're probably going to go way over time because I'm really, really passionate about scripts. So the first question is, have you met with any brokers? Now, what are the 2 things that they might say? Yes or no, right? But that's how. But there's a reason why we say how many. Have you met with many other brokers? They're going to say, no, I haven't met with any, or yeah, I've met with 1 or 2. Or whatever. So if they haven't met with any, what do you think would be a valid follow-up question to that? Well, first of all, you say, you haven't met with any. Interesting. You don't always have to say it's great. Interesting is the blanket term for, okay, sure. I don't love what you're saying, but I'm not going to argue with you. It's interesting. It's like when you're touring around a property and they show you that they put new shag carpet in their bathroom. And you're like, well, that is an interesting choice. In your head, you're like, that's disgusting. But I want to sell your house, so we'll get into removing this after, right? So have you met with many other brokers? Yes, I've met with some. No, I have not. Give me some follow-up questions to that. Not John, though, please. So let's start with no. I have not met with any. What would be a valid follow-up question to that? Yes, sir.
Why haven't you met with them?
Sure. Yeah. Why? Right?
So you can like assess.
So how do you color that a little bit? Because that seems pretty direct, pretty cut and dry, right? So how do you color that up a little bit, friendly it up a little bit?
Have you thought about meeting with any of the people that have called you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So out of the people that have called you, I'm sure there's been many brokers that have called you. What made you make the decision to not meet with them and not hear them out? So what do you think that question is leading towards? You're finding out why, the real reason why they chose to try and sell on their own, right? What's the real reason? You don't just want to come out and ask, hey, have you had a crappy experience with your last broker? Is that why you did this whole DuProprio thing that clearly doesn't work very well? No, of course you can't just come out and ask that because they'll just be like, hey, whoa, that's personal, man. We're not there yet. After a couple of really good questions, after a couple of nice follow-ups, a lot of repeat and approve, a lot of engaging with them, then they'll open up and tell you, yeah, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I had a house a few years ago. I sold it with a broker. He double-ended it. He didn't do anything with his commission, and then his buyers didn't show up to the notary, and then I didn't know who to sue, and big, huge thing. Because that's usually, I'd say probably like 70% of the time the reason people are on DuProprio is because they had a crappy experience with a broker. So we are leading towards that with something like that. What else can you ask if they say, no, I haven't met with any other brokers? Give me more follow-up questions.
When's a good time for you to meet your first one?
Sure, go right for the close. That's awesome.
I was gonna say, you make a joke about how good news, you only have to meet with one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, this is great. Once again, there's nothing wrong that you can say, really. You've already broken through where most people stop. right? Most people stop at the first no. Have you thought about listing your property on MLS and keeping it on Duproprio to effectively double your results? They say no. Okay, great, see you later. Most people stop there. You've already passed that. So jumping to the close is not necessarily a bad thing. I like to ask a few more questions. I like to kind of, win them over a little bit before I jump to that. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. So
before we get too far into the script, the first thing, well, just because I always hear, they always say, "Are you a real estate broker?" That's the first.
Oh,
thing
I
you
love
get
that.
past.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that initial question?
Sure,
Before you
okay.
get past that.
I love that. Thank you, Alex. So somebody says, "Are you a real estate broker?" And I've heard everybody, by the way. I've heard everybody on the phone, so I know how you guys actually answer it.
Kinda, maybe.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Do you want me to be?
So there's a little bit of. You're not mad at them, are you?
You don't hate them, pretend.
Oh man, we'll get into that too, because that's such a funny script that I have to talk about it. It's so good.
Usually I say yes I am. Are you the owner?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, keep it direct. Keep it direct for sure. Yeah.
You could roll it with it.
Personally, I would joke that up a lot because they're coming in when they ask you if you're a realtor. It's usually loaded. That's a loaded question. You say yes to that, they're ready to hang up on you. They're ready to just be like, okay, no, I'm not working with a realtor. I've told a million realtors this already. See you later, click, right? Usually I'll load it up with a joke and I say, actually, I'm the best realtor you've ever spoken to. I'm the only realtor you need to speak to from here on out. And the reason I'm calling you is because I love your, because blah, blah, blah. Maybe you take a look at the property. I'm calling you because your landscaping is amazing. I'm calling you because you've got a beautifully renovated property. I renovate properties around the area as well, and I just think it's awesome, and I think it's a shame it hasn't sold yet. I want to help you out. This is what we do. We put it on both. Are you interested? I like a full confidence play in that moment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you got to think about 9 times out of 10, right? 9 times out of 10, they say, "Are you a broker?" You're going to get the wishy-washy answer. You're going to get brokers who are like, yes, I am. I'm with eXp Realty, and they're like, oh, bye. I'm calling. Yes, my name is Connor. I'm calling with Montreal's Elite Real Estate Group. See you later. You got to hit them with massive confidence right away.
And sounds like you're getting a lot of calls from brokers. Are you getting more calls from brokers than buyers?
Yeah.
And that's a question in the script, so you just sneaked it in. With
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's question number 3. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, Alex, thank you so much for bringing that up. I kind of completely forgot that happens.
I like the one when right after that, it's like, you want to know how you get that to stop.
Yeah, I love that
That's
too.
good.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's jump to that one. I'm curious if you had more calls from agents and brokers or from qualified buyers. And qualified needs to be underlined there in your guys' mind. There's certain places in a script, and we'll go over that kind of like when we recap the whole training, we'll go over tonality a little bit because I think it plays so much. There's a lot of science behind it. It's really, really cool. So yeah, have you had more calls from agents and brokers or from qualified buyers? You really want to underscore the qualifiedness because the buyers that come in on Duproprio, we know because we've had to save so many Duproprios are not qualified most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what are we expecting them to say? This is a leading question, right? This doesn't have a lot of maybe they say this, maybe they say that. We know what's coming, right? So what is coming here?
Brokers.
Definitely brokers. Yeah, you're like the 16,000th broker who's called me. And then you roll into, well, listen, I've got a great way for you to stop that from happening. Are you free? Right now? I'm gonna jump a little bit because when I get something in my head, I'm worried I'm gonna forget it. It's really important that with the for sale by owners, you book them within 2 days. It's really, really important. You've gotta book them within 2 days. Book them right now if you can. Like if you're on the phone with them, be like, I'm free right now. I'm at the office, I can spring at any moment. I've got some appointments later on today, but right now, I can come to your property and we can get this process started. Crazy, crazy. Because if you book it for later on, if you book it further than 2 days out, it's gonna get canceled. If it doesn't get canceled, they're gonna kind of forget the magic that happened over the phone. Because there is a certain amount of magic that happens over the phone. They get kind of wowed by your tone of voice, they get wowed by your attitude, they get wowed by something. And that only lasts a couple of days where they're like, oh, I really liked when I talked to Susan on the phone. But if you book it out for 5 or 6 days, they'll be like, Susan, eh? What? I'm supposed to meet with her. What? Why did I agree to meet with her again?
Mm-hmm.
She's just a broker. I paid Duproprio $2,000 already. No, you know what? I'm gonna call her and cancel.
Mm.
Right? If you put it too far in the future. So yeah, I just wanted to.
Also, you have to call and confirm too if it's too far in the future.
Absolutely. Exactly. You got it. Exactly.
So there's one rebuttal that I used to always get is, I'm doing open house on Sunday, let me see how that goes, and then call me after that.
Yeah. It's
So how would you?
I would say that's a borderline condition, not an objection, because they're not going to cancel that open house. I've never had somebody ever cancel an open house to list with me. Ever. That's never happened for me. Usually what I'll do is I'll say, great, let's meet afterwards.
Yeah.
You're already there from 2 to 4, so I'm gonna show up at 4:30 and just tell them that's what's gonna happen. At that point, you don't need to ask, because you don't need to ask if they're available, because you know they're available. Say, great, no problem. I'll tell you what, I'll pass by at 4:30. My presentation that won't take longer than 15, 20 minutes. Maybe it will, but tell them, 15,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Depends on their personality. We can do our presentation in 10 minutes. It's
Yeah.
really about, it's really about them. So
Okay, cool.
you just say, I'm gonna pass by at 4:30. I'll tell you what, if I wow you and you're blown away, I'm expecting we're gonna move forward this Sunday. But if I don't, there's absolutely no hard feelings if you don't wanna work with me. But I'm sure that I can blow you away. I'm sure that I'm going to deserve your business. Can we get on the same page now? Are we good? You comfortable? Yes? Cool, awesome, see you Sunday. Yeah, but yeah, that's very common. And it's a really hard one to get by, because it is a condition. They're not gonna change that for you. I wish they would, but they definitely will not. Cool. What tools are you using to market the home besides Duproprio? This is a great question.
Mm-hmm.
It's another leading question, because you know what the answer is, right? What's the answer?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But Broker puts it on Kijiji, they put on different sites for them.
Right. So what other tools are they using?
Well, they're
Are they marketing it on West Island Community? Are they marketing it on Home Finder? Are they putting it, do they have a database of 20,000 people? You know, stuff like that, you know, and then it gives us an opportunity to pitch. So they say, no, I'm not doing anything else. Great, wow. I'd love to show you the strategies that we use to get homes sold for absolutely top dollar in your area. It's just, this is like, we're getting to the end of the questions, so they're all closing-ended questions. They're designed to give you an opening to close the client. To say, great, you're not doing anything else, that's okay. I want to show you the strategies that we use to be able to get top dollar. And what we do is gonna blow you away. Let's meet on this day or this day, which one is best for you? So then, if you start getting the fuck off questions or the dismissing questions or the dismissing type of things, then you fall back to this one here. How long do you think you'll take to decide to list your home with a real estate broker? And you're basically asking when I'm gonna follow up with you. Because it could be that they're gonna say never. You still call them next week. But it could be that they say never. And I mean, I don't usually get that answer. I haven't received that answer very often. But usually they say, you know what, if it's not sold in a month, I'll probably start interviewing agents or brokers or whatever they call them. And you say, great, so 1 month. And then you can say, one of my favorite rebuttals of all time, which is, tell me what's special about 1 month from now, right? All this is kind of like extra stuff that you guys can be jotting down. You tell them, what's special about 1 month from now? You say, well, I just want to give it a try.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Great, well listen, what I'm offering to you is not to stop you from selling it on your own. And I just want to clarify that before we hang up right now. Is I don't want you to think that I'm going to stop you from selling it on your own. In fact, I want to encourage you to sell it on your own. Because like I'm going to tell you when we meet in person, it's all well and good to sell your house. But what I want to do is do really good work for you to earn the referrals of your friends and family. Does that make sense? They say, yeah. And now, of course, now you're notching up in emotion and a little bit expertise and stuff like that. You say, well, listen, whether you're going to list with somebody in a month or tomorrow, either way, I'd love for you to put a face to a name. So are you free on this day or this day? Which works best for you? So now you've softened them up a little bit. You've shown them that, you know, you're a person. You're not just some robot making calls. You know, you've shown them that you can help them, all that stuff. And now they're probably going to grant you the appointment because you're not putting a ton of pressure on them. Make sense?
I think if we can go to the beginning of the script quickly.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I'm not the, like, oh, my husband takes care of this or my wife takes care of this. They're not home, call back later. Do you still pitch the script?
Sure. Why not?
You do?
Yeah, because anybody who says that, it's likely not true.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
I was gonna say, it's usually cell phones on there, and
Exactly.
it's the main decision maker who's cell phones
Yeah.
typically.
If their number
Just
is
'cause that
not
happened to me
appropriate,
recently, that's why.
it's the person that wants to receive the calls.
Exactly.
Like if it was the husband really who's taking
Yeah.
care of it, they will put the husband's cell phone on appropriate,
100%.
not the wife.
It also happened to me like 3 weeks ago, that's why.
You can also
Yeah.
book with the person who's not the decision maker and then call the decision maker.
That's
and
happened to
say, I've booked with your wife already, she just wanted me to give you a call like you're doing your meeting with me.
Yep.
And then go in and.
Right, so you still pitch and you still continue, that's what I want.
And another thing for like the people that say, you know, we're gonna try it out and maybe in a month we'll think about maybe hiring an agent. It also works sometimes if you tell them, well, you know what, I can come and meet with you just to give you the information. So that way you know everything and our
Exactly.
marketing strategy and you know exactly what we can offer you. And then when you're ready, you know, if we decide to collaborate together, at least you have all the information.
Yeah, that's
So that's
That's
a
good.
good way
I like
to go around it too.
Is there any benefit to waiting a month?
Yeah, what's the benefit? Yeah, that's another follow-up to kind of what's special about
at
it.
the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny, man, because if you really think about it, if you tell them they can do both simultaneously and they're still telling you no, what are they actually saying? They're actually saying that they think you're gonna sell it first,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's essentially what it is. Because if they truly believe that DuProprio works and it works in a major way, why would they say no to this? Because they don't pay anything to list with us until it's sold, right? So what are they really telling us? They're saying, no, I want to try this DuProprio thing because I want to save money. That's really what they're saying,
Yeah.
right? Because they're worried they sign on the dotted line with us and next week it's sold.
That's right.
That's the real thing, right? So we need to, again, use that in our heads to be able to explain to them it's not necessarily what you sell the property for, it's what you end up netting in your pocket at the end of the day. And what that means is, if I get you more money and you effectively get what you would have received in DuProprio, it's the same, right? You wouldn't care. You know, whether you net 500 with DuProprio or you net 500 selling with me, what do you care?
Yeah.
And they say, yeah, I guess. Okay, perfect. Let's meet. You know? So, very important. So, the opener. The opener is really, really important, guys. So everyone's going to have a different opener a little bit, right? So I've changed mine over the years. This one is John's. The one that we're reading it right here is John's opener. Okay? So it's already been catered for John's vernacular, John's verbiage, all that stuff. Mine's a little bit different. It just goes ring, ring, hello. Say, hey, I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner? I ask right away, is this the owner? Say, great. My name is Logan Boyce. I'm calling with Montreal's elite real estate group. I'm calling you because just want to know if you want to do both. That's my opener, basically, right? John's a little more get their name kind of thing, which is great because he uses their name throughout the entire call, which is very, very important. I'm just a little more impatient than John, that's all. I'm just a little more of a high D, a little more impatient.
I was asking if it's still available so they can't get me back later and be like, oh, but we've accepted an offer now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's still available.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm calling about the house for sale on 1 Street.
Yeah, no,
What's your name? I
yeah,
gotta scratch this thing.
you're exactly right. I usually ask that as a follow-up. I forgot that. I usually say, is this the owner? Yes, it is. Great. Is it still available? Yes, it is. Great. Now I do my intro.
And they're like, I've accepted 2 offers though. No,
Yeah,
you
'cause
didn't.
if
You
you
told me it was available, friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Friendo.
Friendo. So what? There's one script that's not printed here that I want to go over. So how many people have made an expired call in the last 30 to 75 days? You have? Okay, awesome. Hit me with it. Ready? Ring, ring. Hello.
Well, usually I have the script in front of me, but that's who I've been calling
No,
recently.
if you've called them, you know the script. You don't need the script. Put all that face down. So ring, ring. I say hello.
Hi, I'm calling. Well, okay, wait. Now I'm way
You can
too
do
on
it this
spot.
Yeah, this is good though. This is way more on the spot than you'll ever actually feel with a real call,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Okay.
So I'll share with you my expired script, and then you can mimic it afterwards. So expired scripts are my favorite. This is absolutely far and away my favorite script in the whole wide world. So ring, ring. John says, "Hello. Hi, am I speaking with Mr. Ehrlich?" Yes. Hi, Mr. Ehrlich. My name is Logan Boyce. I'm calling with Montreal's elite real estate group. And I'm calling because I came across your listing as expired this morning on my computer. And I'm wondering, when are you planning on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home?
Now.
Awesome. You're in Beaconsfield. I'll see you in 10 minutes. So that's the opener. And then everything after that is kind of whatever. It's just, where does the conversation flow
It's
to?
usually the next thing they're gonna say is, oh, we've decided,
We want to take a break.
That's it, we decided we're not.
We want to take a break.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one you're gonna get the most.
Yeah, exactly. In this market, it's a little bit different, I find. A lot of people don't want to take a break. They know why it didn't sell.
It's probably overpriced. In this
Exactly.
market, like,
In this
no
market,
other
there's only
reason,
one reason,
you know?
right? It's either value or price. You have to
Yeah.
increase the value or decrease the price. There's not very many expires, right?
Yeah.
So, but let's see how accurate this is. Hi, I'm looking for blank. Hi, my name is blank with blank. I'm calling because I was doing a search on my computer, came across your listing is expired. I was wondering,
Yeah,
when do you
it's
plan on
exactly
interviewing
the
the
same.
right agent for the job of selling your home?
Yeah.
So a little bit of foreshadowing to the tonality at the end. Notice what's underlined here. So we've got right in all caps.
Mhm.
So that means we're putting a lot of focus on that word, right? And then selling your home. The reason it's underlined is because we want to come down on the tonality when we say that.
Mhm.
So we want to say, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home? See what I did in there? It's obviously exaggerated a little bit, but whoosh, went down on the tone. Grabs people's attention. Notice how the room got a little quiet when I did that too? Like, that was weird. I did not plan that, but that was awesome. But yeah, whenever you say things like sold the home, sell this, I can sell your home, it's very sellable home, all that kind of stuff, that's when you usually come down with tone to grab their attention, make sure that's what they're focusing on.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do as a caller, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword because women typically are the best callers, like far and away the best callers. But the only way that they break into this like next level, like unstoppable callingness is if they remove the kind of Kim Kardashian tone in their voice that everyone seems to have nowadays, where they kind of come up at the end of most of their sentences. So it's like, example. So when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home? Or if you sold this home, where would you go next? How soon do you have to be there? I can't do it very well because I'm a guy and my voice is low because I'm a guy. But it's a lot of people, even guys that are brand new, have that kind of inflection at the end of most of their questions. Because remember, a good script is good questions. So you have to train yourself that even though you're asking a question, you don't come up at the sentence like this. You train yourself out of that to come down at the end of the sentence, to command the authority of the call. Right, so I'm giving away all this stuff at the end, but that's fine. I'm jumping all over the place today, guys. I had 2 coffees. I'm fucking flying.
There was another expired script that we used to have that would say, are you still looking to receive an offer?
Yeah, so this is a great one. So John's bringing up a different script that we used to use, but this was actually exclusively for voicemails.
Okay.
So if you call an expired and you get a voicemail, you don't do the same opener. You kind of do, but allow me to demonstrate. So leave a message after the tone. Beep. Hi, my name is Logan Boyce. I'm calling with Montreal's Elite Real Estate Group. I saw your listing expired this morning, and I'm calling just to see if you're still interested in receiving offers on the property. If you are, please call me as soon as you can, 514-570. When I was in full production, I listed 5 houses in 1 year from that voicemail.
Ooh.
So pretty insane, considering voicemails should not convert, like ever. So.
Are you ever asking the clients why they're not listing with the realtor and then addressing their concerns?
Absolutely, yeah. So that's more of the for sale by owner we find is, why did you choose not to? So one of the first questions I think was, have you met with many realtors, right? And they said, yeah, I did. And then if they say yes, there's got to be a reason why they didn't list, right?
Yes.
So that's the perfect time to ask. Tell me what was missing when you met with these people. What was the one thing they could have said or done to have you list with them? Wow, that's powerful stuff right there. Because what are they going to say? They might say commission. They might say nobody was offering a good marketing strategy. No one's going to say that. But maybe they really want somebody that's local, even though we know that that's kind of not the case really anymore in terms of importance. But there's a million things. But they're going to tell you exactly what they need. And if they tell you what they need and you can fill that need, you've got it. Yeah, but that's right there on the first question. Yeah, big time. Huge opener right there. So if they say, yeah, I want to take a break, like an expired person, yeah, I want to take a break or whatever, one of the questions is, what do you think stopped this home from selling. And a lot of times they'll just throw the realtor right under the bus, you know, which kind of sucks, but.
When they say, we wanna take a break,
Mhm.
would it be good to ask them right away, well, if you had a great offer today,
Yeah.
would you not accept it? Would
Yeah.
you not be ready to accept it?
Yeah. I like holding that question for a little later, because I love that question, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But I like to say, okay, you wanna take a break? That's totally fine. Then I ask them a couple questions and then I'll run back to when they said they wanna take a break.
Mhm.
And I'll say, I know you said you wanted to take a break, but tell me, if I advertised your property in my database of 20,000 potential buyers and one of them had a great offer for you, you would sell, right?
Yeah.
You'd say, yeah, I would consider it. Okay, well, at the very least, let's sit down and meet. We can sign up something giving me the authorization to at least advertise my database. And if you decide to go back on MLS, we can do that too. Very nonchalant, very non-assuming, you know what I mean? Because that's what we can do. I used to do that all the time, assign people privately. You know, and then when they were ready to go, we do an amendment to put them on the MLS. Private listing is an underutilized tool, I feel like. So, if you sold this home, where would you go next? Super cool question. You're gonna find that question in almost every single one of our scripts. Because it's really important. Why is this question important? Not John.
Motivation.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, it's all about their motivation.
It also opens them up a bit.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Some talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some talking. It creates a personal connection, I find. But yeah, what else?
Well, they clearly thought about where they would go next. They had their house on
Yeah.
MLS, so.
Yeah. I've seen it open up stories of, we actually had an offer on this other property. This happened, that happened, this disaster happened, all that kind of stuff, and gives you an opportunity to feel for them.
Mm-hmm.
Say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's awful. You know? And then you can come back to that later. You don't necessarily need to address every single thing as it comes to you, because it can come across like you just shoot from the hip all the time. You know what I mean? Say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's awful. Move on to the next question. And then after the next question, maybe they have like a normal answer that can't just be rebutted right away. Say, I know that you said that this awful thing happened. I just wanted to let you know that that would never happen with us. Meanwhile, this is after another question, so it doesn't feel like it was forced. You know, you say, I just want to let you know that it would never happen with us because we've got this protection, or we've got a team of this many people, or we do this many sales every single year, or whatever the thing that you're pitching is, right? Say, this never happened with us because of this, that, and this. So you can feel really, really secure working with us. And you go, oh, I appreciate that. And again, it won't come across super forced, which is awesome. So what do you think stopped this home from selling? It's a great question, because what are they going to tell you?
The broker.
The broker,
Yeah.
most of the time, right?
Jump on the bandwagon.
And sometimes, man, and so I'm glad John brought that up, because the rule of thumb is you do not do that. You never shit on anybody in the industry, ever, under any circumstances.
Yeah.
It could be somebody that you've heard of, that you know, and that you don't like, and that you've had bad dealings with, and it doesn't matter. You know, you never shit on them to clients. It's just bad form. So if somebody says, yeah, well, the broker did this, the broker did that. Okay, wow, I'm really sorry that that happened to you. Not like, oh yeah, that guy, I know him. No.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And so you want to say
You want to
say the same thing I was saying before. Like, I'm really sorry that happened to you. You know, people's lives are a complicated thing. So, I'm really sorry that that happened. I'm sorry that that was how you were treated. I'm sorry that that's the service that this person gave. Move on. Come back to it after.
Love to change your mind.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to address it right away, one of my favorite things in the whole wide world is if they say they want to take a break, and then you ask them why they think the home didn't sell, and they say the broker, and they give a bunch of reasons. He didn't do an open house, she didn't do this, whatever it is, right? If you want to handle it right away, one of my favorite things in the whole world is you use the restaurant comparison. You say, listen, I'm sure that you've been to a restaurant and received bad service. I know I have. Do you remember the last time that happened to you? And they'll say, yeah. Say, well, I remember the last time that happened to me. I was at this place. And the first one that always comes to mind is the same thing. I was at the Keg in Kingston. And they served me red wine that was clearly chilled in the white wine fridge, like clearly. And that was strike one. I was like, guys, come on. It's like I got to cup it like this and like breathe into it to freaking, warm it up a little bit. It was like ice cold. So they're like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah. So they figured it out or whatever. And then the steak I ordered comes, and keep in mind, it's not the first time I've been to this Keg. This is like the 4th time I've been to it or something. And so I cut into the steak and it's like, well done. I'm like, what is happening right now? Because I was just blown away. I was like, this isn't what's supposed to happen. And like, I went to like an established place that every single time has been like perfect, So I cut into it, it's well done. I'm like, yo, what? So at the end of it, they tried to make it right, but the experience was just kind of shit that night. It's okay, you know what I mean? But I promise you, a month later, I was at the Keg Fairview.
Yeah.
And I tell the client that, and depending on who you're talking to, again, the script needs to change based on who you're talking to, right? And we'll get into that a little bit later as well. But if I'm talking to somebody who's like a high I interpersonal kind of person, I'm gonna tell them that entire story in detail. Like every little detail, and they're gonna be like, what else happened? You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of person that they are. If they're a high D, I'll probably really, really tighten that story up. So I went to the Keg, had a crappy experience, and 2 weeks later, guess where I was? The Keg here in Montreal. So you can't really judge anybody on one experience, or any industry rather, on one experience. So I want to be that second Keg to change your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They say, yeah, I guess so. Okay, perfect. I'm coming over. See you in 5 minutes. Wait, I'm in my PJs. Okay, 10 minutes.
You could say too, just like any industry, you have good and bad. You
course.
can have a good accountant and a really bad accountant, and
Yep. So the next question is, how did you pick your last broker? This is really important. Why are we asking that question?
And looking for like characteristics.
Not really, because again, we're not going to shit on anybody. So what are we asking for?
Like something personal?
to see if they're attached to them, or if they might
Yes.
relist with them, if you
Exactly.
have competition.
Exactly. So most of the time, how does somebody find their agent? Most of the time. We're talking the 80-20 principle, 80% of the time.
Referral.
Referral, magic word, thank you so much. Most of the time it's a referral. Is it family? Nah. Rarely. Probably like 5% of the time it's family. But the other 75 is it's a referral. They say, I had a great experience with Marty, you should use Marty.
Mhm.
Right? So we're asking that because they're going to say it was a referral. Like, great. I think getting referrals in this business is the goal. It's fantastic. It's unfortunate it didn't work out in this instance. But I'll tell you, I didn't get referred to call you. I'm just this hardworking. And I think that's what you need. I think that's what you want for your property, right? You want somebody that's going to work hard to get this job done. Is that right? They say, yeah. Easy. Easy. Great question. What jokes am I missing?
No, I just said because that was a good closing earlier, so I just said I turned this around and saw my house.
Yeah, my hair's fucked up today, bro. It's my scar, dude. It's my scar from the brain surgery. It grows like weird, like frizzy hair. But you should feel bad. Because, Severo, I don't know if you know that I had brain surgery, okay? Hey, man, that's not cool. So you want to cash off or no? So the last question, this one's really cool too, is what will you expect from the next broker that you choose? So you're basically asking them what they're expecting from you, essentially. Like, well, we want somebody that's going to work really hard. And now's the time where you recap all of the things that they said and all of these questions. Say, I know you said you had a bad experience with this. That's not going to happen with us. I know you said that one of the reasons you think it stopped from selling was because of this. I think we can change that with this, that, and this. And I know you're expecting this from the next broker, a hardworking broker. Well, guess what? I'm cold calling you. There's no harder work in the world than doing that. So I think I tick all the boxes. Are you free? When are you free? And of course, this is predicated on going through this entire call, right? Which is going to happen probably 5% of the time. 5% of the people that answer the phones, you're going to get through the entire script.
Yeah.
But if you get through the entire script, it's on you. Then it's like, dude, they've given you everything they can possibly give you. If you do not close them, that is entirely on you. I'm sure you all agree with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the expired script. Questions on the expired script?
When I was following the expires, when I went to them before, I find that it's easier to get through the whole script with them
Yes.
as opposed to
Yes. Yep.
Because they're already open to working with agents, as opposed to the proprio where
Yep.
they're just really cheap.
The only thing with expireds I find is that oftentimes you'll get what we call ghosted by them.
Yeah.
So they don't give you any real answers. So an example of ghosting would be like, hold on, let's grab this thing right here. An example of somebody ghosting me would be like, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job selling your home? They're like, I don't know. We're gonna take a few months off, so maybe in the springtime or maybe in the middle of the summer or something like that. Okay, well tell me, if you sold this home, where would you go next? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. How soon do you have to be there? It doesn't matter. What do you think stopped this home from selling? I have no idea.
I hate these people.
How did you pick your last broker? Out of a hat. What would you expect from the next broker you choose? To sell the home. Okay, fantastic. But remember, it's like whenever they answer anything, a lot of times we feel like, oh shit, we freeze up, right?
Yeah.
And that's why that first thing I was telling you guys at the beginning of the training, the repeat and approve, is so important. And they say something, you repeat it, you say that's great, or that's awesome. Okay, very interesting if it's something maybe you weren't expecting to hear or whatever. But yeah, at the end of the
Be
day.
more aggressive with expires. Like go for the close expires.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Physical, you kind of have to play their ego expires. Okay, we're the best.
Everyone's got
That's how I do it.
yeah, everyone's got different strategies for like how they wanna.
Yeah.
How they
You
wanna
do a
approach
piece of
them.
the book, now I'm gonna blow your socks off.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I personally I find that works well for sale by owners.
Oh, for sale power?
Yeah, the expireds I always kind of my mantra around the expireds is that they're a wounded doe in the woods. That's the way that I look at the expireds. I look at them like, yo, dude, can you imagine? Okay, for real, like put your mind into the mind of an expired listing, okay, just for a second. Like everybody just focus up for one moment, okay? You had a meeting with a real estate broker, okay? This real estate broker toured your entire house. This is a house that you've built your entire life inside of. You've been in this house for 30 years, okay? You've raised one, maybe two kids in this house, okay? There's so much love that you have for this house, it's like you can't even calculate it, okay? And this guy says, you know what? It's worth 1.2 million. And you're so happy because you've worked all your life. This is your retirement, this house, basically, right? Most people, middle-aged people, this is what, this is their retirement. So you're like, okay, great, it's worth 1.2. And they don't tell you, maybe because they don't know, maybe because they whatever the reason, they don't tell you that there's some serious drawbacks with your house. Maybe it's on the T of a thing where the feng shui is no good, or maybe the kitchen is just totally old and not that great. Maybe the floors are wobbly. Maybe there's something that he saw, but he just wanted to buy the listing, the agent. So he says, your house is worth 1.2. And your house sits there for 6 months. And the agent doesn't communicate with you. Doesn't say, hey, we haven't been getting the visits that we need. We need to, lower the price. We need to increase the value. One of the two things. Maybe I'll try a different marketing push. One of the questions that's not there is, hey, did your broker do a massive marketing push on the last month of your property being listed? No? Gosh, that's really a shame. I can't wait to show you my marketing strategies. I think it's going to blow your socks off. When are you free? Right? So the idea is that imagine they've gone through 6 months of putting the thing in their life that they've given the most attention and love to, aside from their children, and it sits there and nobody wants it. People have come into the house and have rejected them for 6 months. Imagine the toll that takes on your soul. Exactly. And they're seeing their neighbors pop up and sell, pop up and sell, pop up and sell. And it's because, it is kind of because the broker did not explain properly what the situation is. The broker didn't explain, hey, we need to lower the price, or maybe I was wrong. Like the script for lowering a price is, I'm sorry. Because it's nobody's fault but yours. Unless you had the conversation and you said, hey, I think it's going to sell for this, and they said, no, we're going to try it for that. Then you don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if it's a price reduction script or a conversation, it's, I'm sorry, I messed up. I really thought we were going to get more attention at this price. I really thought this, I really thought that. So this guy didn't do any of that. And it went through 6 months of rejection for this person. That's why I view them as a wounded doe in the woods. They've got a gunshot wound. It's not fatal. They're going to live. But they're just there dying in the middle of the woods. So it's up to me to call them, and that's why I'm so much softer with the expireds. So much softer. That doesn't mean I'm going to take no for an answer. Don't mistake my caring for weakness. That's not going to happen. I'm going to get that appointment, right? But I know the pain that they've gone through, and I can't even imagine how terrible that would be. That would be devastating. So remember that. Being empathetic in sales is one of the most important tools you can have. Is understanding the situation. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, dude, even if it's a 35-year-old, he's been living there since he was 25. That's 10 years of love that they've given to this property, right? Like, I bought my property in 2018, even now, if I was an expired after 6 months, I'd be devastated. I'd be like, come on, man, did you not see the cool backyard I put in? Why is nobody offering on this?
Yeah.
You know, I renovated it with my hands.
Yeah.
You know, and like sometimes that does happen. Like obviously there's going to be a lot less emotional attachment when you're talking about an expired condo or something, but most of the time we're calling houses, let's be real. So, questions on the expired script? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? No? Cool, moving right along. Next up, boss buyer script. So, what does this mean? What's a boss buyer?
The buyer who's looking for, like, actively looking.
Yeah, somebody who came in off all of us.
Yeah.
So, who wants to read the oh yeah, this is an old script, guys. So you can just remove the in collaboration with West Island Home Values, you can just cross that out. So grab a pen, cross that out. Marty, why don't you read me this first paragraph?
Hello, my name is Marty Kufal. I work with Montreal's Elite Real Estate Group. I see that you're trying to look for foreclosures and distress sales. So tell me, what are you kind of looking for so I can help you out a bit?
Yeah, listen, I'm looking for blah, blah, blah. Then the conversation starts. So Marty's the king of the nonchalant pitch. Absolute king of the nonchalant pitch. You're never going to get pressure from Marty over the phone in a heavy way, because he's just like, listen, you want to work with me? Cool. If you don't, I don't give a shit. Like, I've got enough business. And that's a great attitude to have. It's the, I value your business, I don't need it. I don't need it, I value it. Very, very important attitude to have when you're on the phone. So, very, very simple, it's just a conversation. This is a warm call. This shouldn't even be like part of the cold call training that we're doing right now. This is a warm call. They're expecting your call. When they fill in the form, they say somebody's calling you. Like, somebody's calling you. In the next 5-10 minutes, somebody's calling you. Sometimes it takes a day, but whatever. So then when you call them, you know, everyone's gonna have a different opener, and that's okay. This one's a very malleable opener. There's no like set, like absolute best practice when it comes to an opener for this script. I just like, hey, my name is Logan Boyce, I'm calling from Montreal's Elite Real Estate Group. You submitted to get some information on Facebook or Google, I'm gonna check, on Facebook to get some information on foreclosures, distress sales, good deals in the West Island. Does that ring a bell? You say, yeah, rings a bell. Cool, awesome. Well, I'm here to help you out, so tell me, what are you looking for? Wide open question. And then the number one question that we love to ask these people is what?
Are you pre-approved?
No, try again. Bang, best one. This is the discerning question. It's question number 2 on the list here. Are you buying this as an investment, or is this a home for you and your family? Investors are a dime a dozen, and you have the best one right here. So you do not need more investors. I mean, listen, if they say they're an investor and they're specifically looking for a $3 to $10 million investment, cool, put them in the investment category. That's cool, that's above my pay grade. I'm not there yet. But if they're just saying, yeah, I'm looking for flips, okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay, bud. First of all, okay, bud. And second of all, no, we're good. We have a flipper
I
in
didn't
house.
even think about 30 of them, and only one of them really went to go see a film.
Exactly. Everyone, talk is cheap.
I said, okay, thank you.
Exactly. Talk is really cheap when it comes to flipping houses. Everybody's watched HGTV one too many times and thinks they're a house flipper. Yeah. Hey, me too, bud. What have you bought recently? Oh, nothing? All right.
Yeah, I asked them, how many houses have you flipped last year?
Very,
They say
very
1
important.
or 2.
No.
If
Yeah.
they say 10 or no, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I'll ask them, how are they finding them?
Oh, yeah, you do? Okay.
Of course.
Good question.
1 or 2 is not bad. I mean, it's better than nothing.
But I have like
The ones that
100
are
of
like
them in
screaming.
follow-up houses. There's like 100.
There's so many
Yeah.
flippers.
We used to be able to call them like when we used to find properties and private listings, and then we called them.
Yeah, we still send them out. We still send it to the entire investor flipper category. Yeah. When we have like a private deal or when I'm wholesaling something or wholetailing it rather. So is this for an investment property or a new home for your family? What areas are you looking at? When would you like to make this move? Have you spoken with the bank yet? And are you pre-approved? And then all of these, there's follow-up conversations to have. So for instance, if you're asking them about speaking to a bank and they say, no, I'm good.
Hey, what do you say to that? They say, we have the money. Don't worry about that, Marty.
We have
I don't want to cry.
I just say, well, it's not about me. I trust you. And I also, like, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not the person you're buying the house from. But if you're going to write an offer, it will be immediately thrown in the trash if you do not have a letter from a bank saying you have this money.
Yeah.
Am I making sense to you?
I'll get it when I find the house. It'll take me 1 or 2 days to get back.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, that it just won't work, Marty.
Okay.
So I need you to speak to a bank before we start visiting, because we need to be ready to pull the trigger in a moment's notice. And if they say no to that, be like, I'm sorry, I don't think we can work together.
Okay.
You're not playing by the rules, sorry. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, you go through those steps though. I think we went through like 2 rebuttals there. That's great. I don't think they'll challenge you beyond that. Yeah. Do you own or are you renting? Woo, baby, I love this question. I love it. They say they're renting, it's great. Awesome. When does your lease end? What's your game plan for that? Are you going to sublease or assign your lease? Or are you just going to like pay the both? You know what I mean? Let's say it's up in July. No, let's say it's up in September. We find something occupancy in July. I don't say this to them. If your lease is up in September, we find you something with occupancy in July, what are you going to do? You know? I want them to pitch me. I don't have to pitch these guys. They're buyers in this market. They should be pitching me. Real talk, they should be pitching me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know the market really well. I know what to tell them to offer, and I know how to package their offer to make sure that they have the best chance of succeeding.
Yeah.
And I also know that most other brokers or agents can't do it. So I'm like, I want them to pitch me. I'm like, okay, so we find something occupancy in July, what are you going to do? Oh, well, I'd assign it. Great answer. Love to hear it. Or they're like, well, I'm not sure. Like, ooh, not a great answer there, Joey, or whatever your name
Call me
is.
back when you have the answer.
What's that Key and Peele thing? You sell me this vacation.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
So good.
And then also one of my favorite questions, have you already visited any properties? This is key.
Yeah.
If they say yes to that, you got a hot lead.
Yeah.
Really, really hot lead. What type of home must-haves, all that boring crap is at the end there. I'm going to stress something that I stress all the time, and you guys just never listen to me, but please listen. Book these people, man. If they answer yes to that they're visiting properties, get them into the office and sign them to a brokerage contract to purchase. Come June or July or something like that, we have to do that anyway. So you might as well start getting into the zone of signing the buyers to exclusive buyer agency agreements with us. Because starting June or July, we have to if we want to get paid. So,
And they won't be able to, the buyers won't even be able to go to because the double ending is.
Exactly.
They get the design.
No, no, you can
so they can still sign something, they'd have to just sign something similar with the listing agent.
Okay.
And the listing agent still retains the entire commission, from my understanding?
Yeah, so the listing agent has to tell them that they're not being represented by anybody, so they do not have any representation at all.
Oh, they have to tell
But
them.
the,
Yeah, they're basically
the
saying
listing-
nobody's in your corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the listing broker still has to treat them fairly, and the listing broker still keeps the totality of the remuneration. There's no difference or benefit.
I think it's a good step. I think saying, hey, by the way, nobody's going to help you, I think
But
that's
no
really
one's gonna
important.
say
What's a
that.
new clarification that
It's gonna
just
say
came
on
out
the thing,
that
right?
I need to look into.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that after. I don't want
Is
to
there
get too much in the
something that
weeds.
they have to sign with the listing agent though?
Like if a buyer wants to buy from a listing broker, they have to sign something saying that they're not going to be represented by that listing broker, right? Is that what you just said?
They didn't give us anything for that, we just have to advise them that they're not represented.
Okay.
So,
Nobody's going to say that, you're right. That's a shame. It's a shame because we all know deep in our souls that double ending is the worst experience for the buyer in the entire world. And they think they're saving money, but in reality, they're getting absolutely screwed.
so they put out a new
Yeah, I said it.
they put out a new ambiguous clarification that states that somebody can represent a buyer without actually representing the buyer, because they don't represent them, but there would still be the broker who showed them the property to gain their remuneration. I've got to call the OC.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to get in the weeds right now.
Yeah.
So, but the idea is that if somebody answers positively to yes, it's a home for my family, or they answer positively to yes, I'm visiting already, or I've gone to a couple open houses, get them into the office right away, and sign everybody. It's not that hard. It says mandatory on the goddamn contract. It says it right there that it's mandatory. If you tell them like, listen, it's mandatory, make it cancelable. Who cares? Just put in good faith. This contract can be canceled at any time with no penalty to the buyer. You know, just get in the habit of getting them to sign on. If they're not signing a buyer agency agreement with you, that's like a huge qualifier for me. Why wouldn't they do that? Right? There's got to be a reason.
Well, they don't trust you yet.
Exactly. So you did a shit presentation. You learn from it. Do a better presentation next time. You know, show more value. Explain stuff better. Notch up in expertise a little bit more. Notch up in rapport a little bit more on the next one. But there's no bad outcome from trying to get them to sign the brokerage contract to purchase, right? Maybe they say no. Are they just going to not work with you because you asked them to sign a contract? No. You can say, listen, it's okay. Maybe we work together for a couple of weeks and we revisit this idea. Does that sound fair enough? They say, yeah, okay, perfect. No worries, no problems. We'll come back to it.
They think that they're like locked in forever.
Yeah, exactly. And you, yeah.
We signed KW
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
We bought last year.
Yeah.
And like I was calling them like throughout 2 years, I followed up every 3 months. He never answered my calls, nothing.
Yeah.
I called back and then when he's ready, he called me. He's like, hey, I'm ready to what now? I'm like, okay.
you think he would have got that call if we didn't sign him?
No.
The contract was well expired,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but he put ink on paper.
Yeah.
So he really thought he was committed to working with
Oh
Severo.
really?
Yeah.
You think he would have received that call without that contract? No chance. Zero chance.
He wasn't even answering my calls.
Exactly. Well, because he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been ignoring a lead company for like 2 weeks straight. I'm actually playing a game of how many times they're going to call me.
A weed company?
Yeah, like it's a company that's going to come weed my grass and aerate
okay.
my lawn and stuff like that. Oh, you guys thought it was for fun? No. So they've, no joke, I think they're on call like 22.
Did they call you every 2 days?
Yeah, every second day.
Wow.
Yeah.
When are you gonna answer? You gotta give it to them.
Oh, I'm definitely going to give it to them. I'm just seeing how long it takes. Once I go like a week without them calling me, I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't want you anymore.
Please don't.
We're completely.
Sell to me, please. But yeah, so listen, guys, the main objective with these buyers, especially for newer brokers, by the way, is get them into the office and sign them. Right? They're more likely to work with you if they come into the office, and it's another great qualifier. Come into the office? No. Why the hell not? I'm going to walk you through the entire process. You just said you've never bought before. You're renting, right? I'm going to walk through the entire process. What fees to expect? How much money you need down? We have a mortgage broker in-house that can pre-approve you on the spot. Like, dude, how much more value do I have to give to you? If they say no to that, they're just not ready.
And just one thing, maybe Logan, like if you wanna book the appointment with them, if they're qualified for coming here and you spending time with them, maybe not ask question number 7, because one of the things I say
that's right. Yeah.
is, we want to know all your criteria and everything. We want to know exactly what you're looking for. So you could use that as a reason why you want them to come to the office. So the reason why they're coming to the office is to tell you everything that they're looking for, so you can send them the list.
homes together.
Yes.
But you still want to, you still want to have an idea of where. That's how you qualify them, right? Like if they're pre-approved, where are they looking? Do they rent or do they own? But you don't want to know like too much, because if you know too much, then there's no purpose for them coming here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
it just adds a reason for them to come.
Very good point.
Yeah.
I completely defer to Susan's expertise on the matter when it comes to these types of leads and bringing in appointments.
Also,
So,
sometimes people are nervous to come and meet you. They're nervous.
for what reason?
Just they're nervous to meet people, or like these people who are just anxious in general. So I
Have
always
you ever
try to
had-
break them down. Come have a coffee. We'll sit
Sure.
down and
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah,
make
absolutely.
it nonchalant.
Sure.
And sometimes they're like, oh shit, I need to meet
Yeah. I think it's like the people who are going to be a little more shy like that, they're probably not the people that are going to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm ready to buy, come represent me.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think it's a great qualifier. If you actively try and get every single one of these leads into the office, I really think it's a great qualifier to see where you should be spending your time. Because, pretty much everybody is behind in their follow-up boss. Pretty much everybody, with the exception of, I think, Benji and Severo. So the idea is that, like, when you try and do too much, it becomes daunting and difficult. Things get lost. Things get kind of in the weeds a little bit too much. But when you've got a really nice strategy of making sure that these people are qualified, like if somebody doesn't want to come into the office and you thought they were a hot lead, maybe they're a nurture lead, or they don't want to come into the office and you've been working on them, let's say for 3 months in their nurture, maybe they should be thrown into watch or archive. If they just constantly keep saying no, they're like, okay, this guy's just not serious. Why am I wasting my time dialing this person every 2 weeks? Move it on to watch or move it on into archive, right? I fully support cherry picking these leads. So that's boss buyers. Good. Questions on this? Anybody unclear about any of this?
I have a question. So
Yes.
a lot of times when I call, they'll just be like, I thought you were just gonna send me like a list or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Send me this.
Like-
Send me this. Send me this.
Send this.
Yeah, send this now, please.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, I mean, like, I'm just like, oh, that's not really how it works. Like, I can't really, like, I just gotta say, like, I can't really send you like $10 million homes if you can only afford like 500,000.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
answer. Great answer. Who's got a rebuttal for this? Connor, what do you say to that?
To people who ask me to send the list.
Yeah, so I thought you were just gonna send me a list. Just send me the list, dude.
What I say is, why meet your criteria for what your dream home would look like so that I can get you those properties?
Sure. Yeah. My objection handler for that is I don't want to send you a list of 10,000 properties you don't want to look at. So that's why I'm calling you right now. If you have a couple minutes. If you don't, I can call you later. It's okay. You know, it's very like, I don't need your business. What are you talking about?
Right.
You know, it's like, you know, I'm calling you because I'm not going to send you a list of 10,000 properties.
Yeah.
My system won't even allow me to.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I do something different. I don't know if it's good, you tell me. I say, listen, we have many investors, and I choose to work with the best ones who are the most serious. So are you serious? Come to the office.
Yeah, the only downside you'll see with that is that you'll get people who will pretend to be investors when maybe they're actually looking for their home, but
Yeah,
you
but when
basically
I see them, then I can feel them out.
Sure.
Person,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I'm worried that you're putting people into a box of investors when really what you're looking for is people who want to buy houses.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So in that case, like we used to say like, oh, I'm sorry, our system doesn't allow us to send more than 250 properties at a time. So I need to narrow down your search criteria because it's not just going to be foreclosures I send you. It's not just going to be 60-day notices that I send you. It's not just going to be, you know, dilapidated houses or off-market deals. I'm going to send you everything that's available that fits your criteria. So I got a couple questions for you if you got time. Very, very simple. Confidence.
Confidence. Yeah.
Over the phone is so important. Just knowing what you're going to say, saying it with absolute confidence, and not wavering whatsoever. No ums, ever. Silence is the best you could ever say. So no ums. No uhs, no ums, because that just shows that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, with boss buyers, I find that whatever question you ask is depending on how you say it, they'll just answer it.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, they're the one that submitted, they're the one that asked for the information, right? We're the ones delivering that information. If they don't want the information, we move on. It's not like we're short on these leads, right?
Yeah, it's not so long. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My list, sir.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
So, moving right along to the next script, unless we still have questions on the boss buyer. Anybody have questions on boss buyer? Next one.
I had one guy that said,
Yes.
I don't even want you to submit a criteria, I just want a list of foreclosures. This happened to me like
Okay.
3 days ago. And I was just like catching up with some people, and then he was like, I just wanted to see if it was legit, just a list of foreclosures. I was like, no, like I'd send you everything. If it's foreclosed or not, what does it matter if it's, you know, within
Great
your
question.
criteria?
Sure.
And he was like, no, that's it, like thank you, bye.
Cool. Next.
So is
Okay.
there like even just a
okay.
foreclosure thing?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can literally
Yeah.
just go into search,
So-
click foreclosure, and you'll get everything.
And what I would tell them right now is especially with COVID, banks aren't foreclosing right now, so they really are. I don't even know.
Yeah, we're finding other
digital.
deals for our clients, you know, either with 60-day notices. So usually I'll go into the explanation of what a 60-day notice is, which is a bank saying you have to pay us in 60 days, or we're gonna take your house. And that actually comes up, so you're actually getting a property before it goes into foreclosure. It sounds better, doesn't it? They say, yeah, so great. So that's part of one of the things that we show people. But tell me, is this for a house for you, or is it for an investment? They say investment, be like, oh, yeah, see you later. This sounds like a guy who wanted to flip
It was
houses.
an investment.
Yeah, see you later.
Okay.
See you later. Absolutely, because if you found a deal, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
And you'd probably make a shit ton more money if I bought it than if this guy bought it. Real talk. So, next one, just sold. This is the bread and butter, guys. This is everybody's, like, this is everybody's cake. No icing, just this is the cake. This is, everybody starts here.
I
This-
never did that.
This is,
Mojo script.
you skipped it.
Everybody
You're too
starts
good.
there.
You skipped it.
No, but I want to do that. What do you mean I skipped it?
You went to the more difficult calls right away. This is like when you're just starting out, you're learning how to use a script. When you're just starting out, you're learning how to speak to people on the phone. This is what you do, and you use Mojo to do it at a really, really high volume level.
It's not when you just sell a house?
It can be.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can be. But when you're just starting out, you just didn't sell a house. You find somebody else who sold it, and you say, "My colleague sold a property over on blank street." You know.
Cool.
So here's the opener, guys. Hi, Mrs. Newport. Hi, this is Logan Boyce at Montreal's leading real estate group. Or if you want to say, you can say the real estate office in Pointe Claire, or this is Logan with the real estate office in Pointe Claire, whatever. There was a home over in your area on Frontenac Street, 3-bedroom, 2 baths, and it sold for $580,000. We know when somebody sells a home, usually 2 or more signs pop up right away, especially in this market. So I was wondering if you had any plans on making a move this year. Or you can switch that to, so I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? I said, never, awesome. How long you lived at, and this is great, and I'll say it after, I can't say it on camera. How long have you lived over there on Blank Street? They say, I've been here for 10 years. 10 years, wow, you're a veteran in the area, very, very good. Tell me, what did you like most about it? Why did you choose this area? Where are you going next? All these conversations. Tell me, have you had your home evaluated recently? No, you haven't? I'll tell you what, prices have soared in the last 18 months. I'd love to come by and give you a free home evaluation, even if you're not looking to sell your property, because I want you to know who to call when you start thinking about it. I want you to know who to tell your friends about when you have conversations about it. Does that make sense? They say, yeah, sure, perfect. New people should be on 1 or 2 of these appointments a day. A day, because they're so easy to book. These are the easiest appointments in the world. In this market, when you know that properties have gone up by 12-15% a year, you don't think they're curious of what their property's worth? When their municipal evaluation is $300,000 and you know their property's worth $8 million? You don't think they might be curious? Of course they're curious. You should be closing 1 in 15 to 20 contacts in Mojo with this. You know, the only excuse is if you're too busy. Then you can start qualifying them a little bit. Yes.
There's a common thing that comes up every time I make these calls
Yes.
is, oh, well, my neighbor sold or my friend sold and it's basically the same as mine and they live around the corner and they got $500,000 for it, so I know that's probably what my house is worth.
Sure, okay. So
And
yeah.
then they just always just kind of push it off like, yeah, I know what it's worth, I bought it for this, I know it went up, I've been looking on the market. They kind of just find ways of like not wanting to meet you because they think it's like there's pressure that you're gonna have to do something with them after, sort of thing.
Okay, so listen, I mean, again, who here is familiar with the guy named Jesus from the Bible? Everyone knows who this guy is? He turns water into what?
Wine.
Absolutely. Are we Jesus? No, we are not. We are performing an act of prospecting, which means we're swinging a sledgehammer or pickaxe at mud and dirt and rock, and eventually we might hit gold.
Yeah, it's a
So
numbers
those
game.
experiences
Yeah.
are you hitting rocks.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say about that. He says, no, my neighbor's got the same house and he sold for $550, so my house is worth $550. Great, so your house is worth $550. So what's the next step for you and your family? Are you eventually looking for something maybe a little bit bigger? Are you eventually looking to downsize? What's the family situation looking like? You just move on to that. It's clear he's not going to allow you into the house under the predication of a free home evaluation. That just makes sense. So you try and go another route. See if he's actually looking to sell. If he is, great. If he's not, who cares? Move on. It's absolute numbers game. Absolute numbers game.
I actually did similar calls just last week or the week before
Mhm.
for Riviera.
Yes.
And I did the telelisting
Nice.
on Riviera, and I called and I said, I'm calling to give you good news.
Nice.
Did you know that this unit
Yeah.
sold for 401?
Yeah.
And then I said, anyways, not gonna go into it, but you know, a lot of them didn't know, and they were like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And then so it's looking good. I'm gonna follow up with a few of them.
Excellent.
But it's good to say that because I knew that nobody was expecting something to sell at 401. I mean, just last year, nothing had sold over 300. So there's a huge jump. So they were happy to hear that. It was
course,
a
yeah.
nice call. And
That's
then
amazing.
yeah. And the ones that weren't like, there was a lady that's like, oh, my son actually bought it for me and I'm living here for free and we're not gonna sell it. I'm
That's
like,
cute.
oh, he's really nice. I'm like, well, you can give him the good news, you know,
Yeah.
his condo's worth a lot more now. So you could, you know,
He's going to
it's
sell and
a
evict
fun
you.
call. It's an easy call, you know.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nice. You're just giving good people good news, right?
exactly.
It's fun. You know, it's designed to be quite easy.
Yeah.
You know, I went through all the questions. There's tons of questions you can ask, but basically you're just opening it up to a nice conversation. You know, and then at the end you got options, right? So if this guy claims that he knows the worth of his house and doesn't want to let you in, that's okay. You know, John was the king of going through these calls and not getting the actual listing of the call that he was making. He would pitch the fact that he's a hardworking dude on the phone. Who do you know in your area that's talked about selling their house?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got like 3 listings off of that. It was insane. But yeah, to your point, I mean, especially if you've sold a condo or if somebody has sold a condo and you want to use that because they're not going to make those calls. I met somebody last week, or this week? Yeah, it was this week. I met somebody this week who did 40 deals last year, and something like 12 of his deals were because of that. He sold 1 in a building. 5 of them ended up selling because of that sold, and then all 5 of them went to go buy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane. So he had a 12 deal swing Incredible, absolutely incredible. So the just sold script, it's a beautiful thing. This is how my dad started, man. This is how my dad started his business. So he would find somebody else at Royal LePage that sold a property on whatever street in Beaconsfield. We were growing up in Beaconsfield at the time. And he would just say, hey, you know, this guy in the office, my colleague, this person sold this property for this amount. You know, I'm calling just to see if you were looking to sell your home, or if you thought about listing it, or you want a free home evaluation. I don't even know what script he was using. He probably wasn't using script. He was probably just calling people, you know. And again, not with Mojo. He wasn't doing big numbers like that. He was just hammering the calls like this. You know, even when I started, I didn't have Mojo. I didn't know Mojo existed. I was just hammering phones like this. It was a pain in the ass. So you guys are really, really blessed. Really, really blessed with the tech that we have right now. So somebody hit me with the opener of this. Who does this a lot? No, I didn't actually pick on you because I let you off the hook. So here you go. Hit me up. So ring, I say, hello.
Hi, is this what role am I playing?
You're the broker.
Oh, okay. Hi, am I speaking with the owner of the home?
Yes, this is Logan.
Nice to meet you, Logan. My name is Madison, and I'm working with Montreal's elite real estate group.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to inform you that there was a house on your street that actually sold way over than what it was purchased for. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and it sold for $580,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to know if we know when someone sells a home, usually 1 or 2 more signs pop up. And I was just wondering if this would interest you to kind of know what your home is worth now compared to when you bought it.
Cool. Love it. Awesome. Easy. Very, very easy. You went for the close in kind of a weird kind of way.
Yeah, like I was reading, but then I was going off.
You want to. First of all, no ums. The second thing is you want to go into. Do you have any plans on making a move this year? You want to ask them if they want to move. You don't want to ask them if they want a home evaluation straight out of the gate, because that's your fallback plan. Your fallback plan is, well, you might as well have your home evaluated. The first thing you're going for is, when do you plan on moving, or are you planning on making a move this year? You know, if they say yes, then you go in for the kill. You're like, great, well, we sold this property on this side. I'd love to apply for the job. When are you free? Like, just go for it at that point, if you actually hear that. John and I used to joke that we'd never hear that. It was like 1 in 1,000 calls where someone would be like, yeah, I would be interested in moving this year, that we wouldn't even know what to say if we heard it. Mm-hmm. So we'd be calling and somebody's like, yeah, I'd be down to sell this year.
You don't know what to say.
I have to go.
You're lying to me. But to that point though, people will do that. I think Alex has heard a couple of times when I read these calls, the people who are like, there's no way you just called around the neighborhood and hit the one person who's actually thinking about selling. Someone had to have told you. Who told you I'm thinking about selling?
Yeah, that happens all the time. That actual thing happens all the time.
Oh, we actually just had one on Wednesday when we were doing the call. Someone was like, we just signed the contract last week. Yeah. But that's like amazing. That means that if we would have called last week, so next week there's going to be somebody that if we call them this week, they're going to be listed next week. We just have to be the one to call.
That's it.
So I'm not going to go into the last couple of scripts. We don't really have the time. So I will end on a little note on tonality. You know, I alluded to it before, but it's really how you present yourself over the phone. You got to remember, you're not face to face, and a lot of people, I'm so much better face to face is what everyone says. It's like, okay, whatever. That's everybody's crutch as well. I'm better face to face. I'm gonna go door knock, and they never go door knock. Or they say I'm better face to face, so I'm just gonna wait for appointments to just lay in my lap. It's like, no, dude, that doesn't happen.
I'm better at eating chips, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm so much better at eating chips than I am at eating salad. I'm just way better at it, so I'm just gonna do that all the time. 3 meals a day. Sun chips in the morning. So, listen, the idea is that, sure, you might be good in person. Everybody who's a salesperson that elected to become a realtor is probably good in person. But getting the opportunity to flex that goodness in person is a rare opportunity, and one that needs to be earned through skill over the phone. But you can be whoever you need to be over the phone to get that appointment. I've said for a long time that a great salesperson is a great chameleon. So the idea is that you're going to encounter different personality types over the phone. And because we're great salespeople and we're great people and we're empathetic and we understand what they're going through and we know what kind of personality they have, we can kind of mold the script and mold our approach to who it is that we're talking to. You're gonna see it if you hear John making calls, let's say over Mojo, and he encounters an old lady. Is he gonna have the same approach as if he encountered a young Italian man? No, obviously not, right? The old lady will be approached with empathy and restraint and politeness and slow speaking and all of that stuff. Whereas the young Italian man, it's probably gonna be pretty direct.
Bob,
You know,
your house, bro.
you might even start having a little bit the accent. You know, when you're talking to these people, you're gonna find like once you get really good at mirroring and stuff, you're gonna start actually replicating people's accents a little bit by accident, which is really fun.
Yeah.
You know, but the idea is that the first thing you want to do, and that's kind of the basics of isolating what disc they are, is you understand whether they're introverted or extroverted. And once you understand one of those, you put them in one of the categories of introvert or extrovert, either DI or SC. So all that to say is mold the script to who it is that you're talking to. It can't be the same script for every person, because the same script and the same tone won't work with all these different personality types. Now, I'm not advocating that you become a different person or you say something that you're not. That's stupid. That won't work, right? But you can change the way you deliver the message so that it's heard better, right? We do it already. You realize that. You go to grandma's house, are you the same person than when you go to your uncle's? No, fuck no, of course not. You know what I mean? You go to your uncle's, you're slamming some beers, you're saying fuck, you're saying shit, you know, high-fiving people, all the rest of it. You go to grandma's house, you're gonna have some tea. You're gonna be very polite. Are you a different person at grandma's versus uncle's? No, you're the same person. You just know who it is that you're around. And you know how to act appropriately around those people, right? So that's kind of the synopsis of the scripts, is making sure that you keep a really, really close eye on your mirroring and your tonality when you're delivering the scripts.
Just when they answer hello, how they answer the hello. That's how I go
100%,
off.
100%. You make a massive assumption based on that.
I go down.
Yeah, the hello.
Yeah, hello. And then, yeah, exactly.
Or they answer really friendly, like hello. Like,
Yeah.
whoa,
There you
all
go.
right, I got a live one.
Yeah.
You know, like a
Exactly.
lively one, I mean.
Yeah.
So you stand up, you're like, oh, hey, yeah, you're gonna have a fun conversation with that guy.
Yeah.
You know, so mold the scripts. You know, don't be a robot. Mold the scripts. Be a person. Be empathetic. Understand who it is you're speaking to. Try and put yourself in their shoes to understand what they're going through. You know, especially when it comes to the expireds and for sale by owners. But yeah, now you know what to say. Let's go get some more business.
Yeah, that was a good training.
Thanks, guys.
All right, this takes a wash. Let's get fucked up.
Did you hear?